Well, I think that what I look for in announcers is the same thing I look for if I'm hiring, an executive assistant or a promotion person or anything. I think, many people come to you, and there's lots of announcers out there with, degrees of talent, but you essentially hire for attitude. It's the attitude that they have towards the profession, towards the job, and towards the station that they're going to work for. And so you hear and meet a lot of people, but you kind of know, it's almost as if certain people can light up a room when they come into a room. And you need to have that kind of magic that sets you apart from others if you're going to be talented on the air. I hear, I'm not a person who subscribes to the theory that, there isn't any more talent out there. I think there's an enormous amount of talent out there. I don't think that everybody that was on the air in the 60s and 70s and 80s was overly talented. There were some talented people, but, some were skating by. And I think there's an enormous amount of talent. I don't think it's all the same skill set that you might have had in the 60s and 70s, but it's, we live in a digital environment for the most part, and these are people who also live in that environment and can engage and can communicate with their audience, not just through the microphone, but through all the other technological things that are available to them. And I think that, I can remember one time when I was in Winnipeg, and the program director there was a man named Jimmy Darren, who was named James Hilliard, who was very successful in the United States, owning and running many stations. And he was listening to air checks one time in the production room. And, I remember putting production tapes together with my air checks. I'd, spend hours, and I'd have a great 10, 12-minute thing, and I'd have all kinds of different sequences in there, save the best for the last and all that. And he would put these tapes on, and he would only listen for like the first 90 seconds of the tape, and it wasn't just the ones that he discarded. I can remember him listening to a tape, and he heard 90 seconds and said, "He's cool, hire him," and I think that a lot of people that are, putting their air checks together should, remember that it's really what comes off the first 90 seconds that's going to sell your air check.